right, y'all, we're back in here with Representative Todd Warner out of Chapel Hill to talk about the special session that's starting this week, this evening, actually.
Here in a little bit. We're getting ready to go here at 2 o'clock. We're going to gavel out of the session we're already in and come back and forward and gavel back into special session, which to me makes absolutely no sense.
So how do you think that this special session and sort of rushing things through the legislative process bodes for government transparency and how Tennesseans feel about their representatives and senators just in general?
Well, I'm not in favor of it at all. I mean, we're in regular session. Why do we need a special session? It's nothing more than to ram these bills down the throats of Tennesseans. I mean, there's no need of it. This right here, when the swamp gets to turning over, this is what makes people hate the government, the lack of transparency. We're going to go into a special session, as you've mentioned. There's going to be probably new committees. The speaker may use the same committees. I don't know. The rules will change a little bit. We'll go into what they call a flow motion, and the people won't get as long to vet these bills as what they normally would. Normally, bills like what we're fixing to pass would be on probably take 4 to 5 weeks, that voucher bill would. And, I'm hearing rumors that we're going to be done on Friday. So you take, and then you take 3 or 4 more bills, that are big bills, in the same week. It's not good and it don't look good. Tennesseans deserve better than this. They absolutely do.
And now it's my understanding that, y'all will get to vote because these are separate bills. You'll get to vote on the school vouchers and the flood relief and the illegal immigration legislation separately. But at the end of the day, it's all funded by the state, so it goes into an appropriations package that y'all have to vote up or down on. And so what do you think about Governor Lee mixing in the flood relief and with all of this?
I don't get it. I mean, I'm struggling with it. And, there's been talk about things that's going on behind the scenes up here. I don't know what comes of that. But, that flood happened, I think it was the last week in September, if I'm not mistaken, September 27th. I could be wrong, maybe off a day or two. They should have allowed, the governor should have allowed for 2 weeks of assessment time, a week, whatever it takes to get in there and get a good assessment. He should have called the General Assembly back into special session then, not almost 4 months later. Then when we're hearing this voucher bill, it sends the wrong message across the state. And people deserve better than that. I mean, that's not what government is about. Don't make things look, like we're trying to cook the books down here. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing this from my constituents, and it's not good. It's not a good look on state government at all.
And you shared similar sentiments, or attempted to share similar sentiments at a policy panel last week that was put on by Williamson Inc., the Williamson County Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, my good friends down in Williamson County.
Yeah, and they did a poll of their members, about 1,100 of them, and it came back in the results that they were pretty much 2-1 against this legislation benefiting their county. Yeah,
Williamson County is totally against it. Marshall County, the majority of those folks are against it. And at the end of the day, I represent the people of those counties and the people of this great state. I do not represent leadership, the governor. I got to answer to the people back home, and I'm gonna vote their interests down here.
And the fiscal note on this special session school voucher bill came out a little bit ago. What do you think was kind of one of those takeaways from that stood out to you? Well,
the biggest takeaway for me is, of course, the amount of money. I think it's at $400 million right now just to get this bird in the air. Is one of my good friends, Jody Barrett, put it the other day. But don't call yourself a conservative and be in favor of this type of bill. As I said, I think last week or 2 weeks ago when we met, these bills should be split into 2 different bills: the public education part and the voucher part. Let them stand on their own merit. Don't use, $186 million to bribe our teachers and hope to keep those people's mouths shut. Split these bills up like we normally would do in Tennessee. Don't bring a Washington-style pork bill in here to Tennessee and try to pass it. To me, it's no good. They should split them up. Let each part of the bill stand on its own merit. And the biggest thing that really stood out to me in the physical note part of it, the summary that we got, was that 65% of the students that's going to receive this money are already going to private schools. Statistics show that there's only 3,000 seats available in the state of, for private education. Once those 3,000 seats are filled, that money's going to start going to the students already in private school. And I just think it's just a bad idea for government to get involved in private education.
Representative Jody Barrett spoke to us last week, and one of his big reasons for being hesitant about the bill was that in his districts, there's, I think he said, only 2 private schools that kind of fall under these categories of private schools that could accept the voucher funds. And so really, this wouldn't even benefit his district all that much. I believe there's a lot more private schools in your district.
No, it's not. Actually only have one, and it just started this year. And I think I made a mistake the other day when we spoke, and I said that there wasn't any, and I want to clarify that. There is one in Chapel Hill that's opened, and I think they have 8 students right now, and next year hoping to expand to about 30. But it's a K-3 school there in Chapel Hill. But no, not very many private schools at all in my district.
And the way the TISA funding looks to be set up for this legislation is that it's the hold harmless provision. And so say that a school has, a certain amount of students this year, and then 10 of those students take the voucher funding and they go elsewhere. The next year, that public school that they were at gets the same amount of funding, so on and so forth. Right. Now, one of the problems here that public school advocates have noted is that eventually that funding, if they keep losing students, it is going to go down. So it says it's hold harmless, but what do you think about that?
They're correct. It is. It's going to go down. And another thing is that we cannot tie the hands of future General Assemblies. We cannot financially tie their hands. So that hold harmless, I think, is only good for 2 years until the next General Assembly. If revenues go down in the state and they can't fund this voucher program in the future, let me tell you what first thing is going to be cut out of it. It's going to be the public schools are going to be cut out of it, and they're going to leave the voucher part in place. So I think that is a very true statement, or it's a very legitimate concern.
And then you've got the Trump administration finally in office.
Yeah, and I pointed that out. I tried to point that out Friday morning. Of course, I know we were pushing for time down at Williamson Inc. And Dave, he always does a good job, but he's, Dave likes to talk too, and my point is, and my letter to the, op-ed that I wrote in reference to Governor Lee is, look, let's check up a little bit. Let's give Trump 6 months. Let's see what he does on the federal level. And maybe he offers some kind of income tax deduction that gives these folks that sending their kids to school a income tax deduction, maybe $7,000 or $8,000, $10,000, and we don't have to do anything here at the state. We're in a infrastructure crisis in this state. As you drive around Nashville, it is a nightmare, and we could take this money and put it toward infrastructure and not having to be spending it on these vouchers if they do something at the federal level. So I wish the governor would check up a little bit and just wait and let's see what happens.
Well, if any of y'all are interested in reading Representative Warner's op-ed that he wrote, the Tennessee Conservative and Tennessee Stands did publish it, along with the Tennessean, but we kept the title.
Yeah. Well, good deal. Yeah, please feel free to share it. And, at the end of the day, I'm about less government, smaller government, smarter government. And this is not about less government. This is growing government. We were told, they were cutting our bills this time from 15 to they wanted to go to 10. The caucus kind of pushed back, and we come in the middle at 12, and it was talked about we're supposed to be the party of less government. Well, there's nothing that we're doing here in this special session that is about less government.
Well, thank you, Representative Warner, for sitting down with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.